This is a question that came in from Diane that wanted to, some tips on putting zips in pouches without getting the bulge on the top edge. So what you need is to get a zipper. I've got here my pieces that I'm going to be making up. Is going to be a lined one. It's just two layers of fabric. I've got the outer fabric, I've got white for the lining fabric, and then I've got these two tabs. These were measured. I did a strip 1.5 inches long. I pressed it down the middle to get a crease, opened it up, and then pressed the outer edges to the middle and folded it over. And they've been trimmed to about 2 inches long. Just want it wider than the zip. So you want to get your zip, just take that staple out, and then you want to cut off the end. You don't want that stopper on the end. Make sure your zip is closed so you don't lose the zipper bit. It's just a nylon zip, so just gently, and I've cut off the end. So now I want to get one of the tabs and the end of your zip is going to go into that tab. Right to the edge, and then I'm just going to top stitch that into place. If you find it easier, just use a couple of clips to hold it in place. Come off the end. Trim that off. And then I'm going to just trim that to size. And you want to repeat on this side, but this time make sure you've got your zip open, because of course you don't want to lose your pull. So you're going to hold those together. Now these scissors aren't my good scissors. Where that metal stop is, you just want to cut straight across, just in front of it, and we're going to get rid of that. Just hold those together. And I'm going to get my other tab. And sew that on. Just make sure it's level. And we're going to just trim that. Size. So then you have a zipper with two tabs on, and that's ready to sew in. I'm just going to get rid of that thread. So then we're going to take one side of our outer fabric, and we're going to get one piece of our lining, and I'm going to just use my clips you're just then going to insert your zip as normal. You're going to have to watch your pull, you have to adjust that as you're going. So you want the right side of your fabric facing up. You're going to have your right side of your zip facing the right side of your fabric, and this doesn't matter either side, but you want the right side facing on your lining and your outer fabric. Your zip you want to be halfway, so you want that centralised, and then you're just going to clip that all in place. And just make sure that your zip is lined up with your fabric. And because you've trimmed your tabs to your size of your zip, that's going to be lined up there as well. And then you want to sew that all in place. Now you can use your zipper foot to make it easier for you. I've just got my 1/4 inch piecing foot on, so I'll still be able to get quite close to the zip. And you're going to sew from one end to the other. Making sure it's all lined up. Move that down a bit. Move it back up again in a minute. Make sure the needle's in, so you just move around. So lift my foot up, just slide that to the other end. Foot down. And right off the end. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So that's your zip put in. I've actually added some top stitching. So now the next thing is that you want to be joining your sides. I've got the zip open as well, so something to tie in, and what you're going to do is to match the right sides together, so the right sides of your outer fabric together and the right sides of your lining fabric together, and you want to just pin that in place or clip it. Alright, so that's all pinned together. Now, the important thing is that you want to remember we need to leave room to turn it through. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start to the edge of the lining here, to the end and all the way around. what you want to be doing, you're going to be doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so you basically be sewing practically up to where those tabs meet. So once you've sewn all the way around, make sure you leave your hole to turn it round and just trim off the threads. I've snipped the corners. And you can turn it through. I hope you've remembered to leave your zip open. Just push the corners out. Just open it up. Just need to close this hole up. So what I'm just going to do, put my label in there at the same time. So you can either stitch it up by hand or by machine, and what I generally do is just get the hold at the end there. Just a few reverse stitches, and I'll just stitch it as close to the edge as I can. Make sure you've got coming to the end, and a few reverse, and I can trim those threads off. And I can go inside and there you have your pouch, that pouch, and your zip with the tabs there, so you don't get the bulge at the end. So I hope that helps. By doing the side seam so it matches where the ends are, you don't get a big gap in there where everything can fall out. It's still a secure pouch. So I hope that helps, Diane. I do contemplating whether, if you do your tabs open, you can just sew it into the side seam, and it will still be easier and will fold better than a excuse me, a zip, if you didn't want to have an opened end. So I hope that helps, and leave you to go and have a practice.